This year's question is from the 1990s. To what extent does social economic diversity have a negative impact on the AP scores of East Coast students? Good afternoon, I'm Kaden Isaacs.
I'm Irina Cloud.
I'm Evan Nguyen.
Aiden DeGuzman.
I'm Howard Miller. According to College Board's AP 2020 data report, it shows that Connecticut has the highest percentage of public high school graduates who scored a 3 or higher on the AP exam of 2020. As you can see in this graph right here, it shows Connecticut scoring a 34.5% of their graduates in the class of 2020 had a 3 or higher when compared to states like Indiana, which only had 20.6% of graduate of class who scored a 3 or higher.
Our argument is that socioeconomic background negatively impacts scores of AP students due to differing educational priorities, lack of educational support, and lack of family support. Our claims are differing educational priorities, lack of educational support, and lack of family support, followed by evidence as to how these negatively impact students' scores.
So, differing education priorities. They are crucial in order to achieve high academic success, which can also be from, say, race, background, as well as just income and so on and so forth. This is taken from the AP exam cohort. This statistic is by Statistics.com, and the rest is by AP cohort. There were 15 million students in the whole of America, and then 1 million of them took AP exams, and 772,000 passed with a 3 or higher. So differing educational priorities, as you can see, the majority are white, and then minority are Asian. I picked all 3 races just for simplicity's sake. If you see the ratio, there's a lot more than the white, and then there's a lot more than the Asian, and this as well. The percentage was higher with the Asians, and then lower with the blacks, and then among average with the white. This could be what, say, this Asians culturally have more, they stress more education, or blacks just, parents have different priorities and teachers as well. But this was during 2020, so to give a little reference, this is during 2018. All the numbers are kind of the same, but they're actually higher in terms of just how many people took them, but the percentages are lower.
Limited educational support increases the gap between low-income students and high-income students. As you can see here, Texas has funding for all their students. Therefore, their percentage is 22%. Mississippi's percentage is 12%, and they have no funding for their students. Higher income students have higher access to AP prep resources such as test prep classes and AP study books. Also, they're more likely to attend higher resource schools. Therefore, they'll have many access to many AP classes. Additionally, in more affluent areas, they're more likely to get special designations for those with anxiety. Therefore, during the test, they'll have private space as well as more time. These are linked to higher test scores.
Additionally, the lack of family support can have a negative impact on the scores the students will receive on the AP exam. As you can see in this graph from the National Center of Education and Statistics, which shows the parents' educational background of each child, it's broken down into children and race. As you can see, 54% of white parents have at least a bachelor's degree. As you can see also represented by the gray bar, 70% of Asian parents have at least a bachelor's degree. This shows that bachelor's degree, but when compared to the 27 and 22% of Black and Hispanic parents, that's a great disparity between the educational level between parents. As stated earlier by Aiden, 35% of Black students passed the AP exam in 2020 when compared to the 68 and 70% of white and Asian parents. As you can see in this graph, additionally, as you can see in this graph, it shows the educational background of the parent and it shows the projected level of the child's educational level. The education of the parent can help assist, educational level can help assist predict the child's projected education level. As you can see in the far left, the Sum High School of Education, it shows that the parents have at least about 14% out of the whole pool of data. But when you see the projected in red of this child's going to college, it's only 1%, less than 1% of those parents believe the child would go to college. As you look in the far right as an outlier, you see the college degree or a graduate degree. It shows in blue the parent education. These people have a parent education, but they project about 33% of their children will go to college, and that's the difference. That's the difference. And as you can also additionally tell from these two graphs I've shown you, it shows that not be able the educational background of the parent and the educational background of the parent is a big indicator in the student taking the AP class, because it helps determine if that child will succeed and have support for the academics in the AP program.
Our counterclaim is that some parents do support their children's educational careers. As you can see here in the chart in the last column, more than half of the students here shown in each ethnic group have family support because how they perceive the importance of education. In the middle column, you can see that it is less likely for the students to have family support, but it is still possible for the students to have family support. That chart that only looks at one ethnicity group only looks at students mostly in Asia, meaning that the chart cannot be used to prove overall family support because it only looks at one area and not the entire population.
Our solutions were qualified teachers and but our best solution was more resources for parents with children at an early age, because at the early age, that's what affects beyond.
The limitation is that due to the difficulties, students have low motivation for success. Also, during these difficulties, they do not have a parent to go to because they are working long hours. Any questions?
We're going to again start on this side, have that curveball going. Marcus, let's start with you. Describe an argument from one of your peers' individual reports that made you think differently about your team's solution.
An argument that helped change my perspective on this research question was Aiden's paper on the Asian expectation of those parents. It changed my perspective of how the importance of the educational background of the parent is in determining how well the child or student will succeed in the AP course.
Thank you. Aiden, if you would. What is a way your team's solution makes you think differently about the research you conducted?
My research was more about culture. Evan's was more about like the statistics about as income and so on and so forth that affected the AP scores. So that for me was, I thought culture affected a lot, but then when I read Evan's report, there was almost equal quality.
Thanks. All right, Evan. Sorry. Reflecting on your colleagues' works, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem that was defined in your presentation?
All right, after talking with the group and reading Aiden's report, he better helped me tweak my part in order to better support our argument.
Ken, what would you do different to make your group norms, what would you do different with your group norms to make the presentation even better?
Like everyone else said, like strict deadlines, because it will help people push. them to help them actually get their done work, and also a little bit more of communication. Say if one person is gone, they could like do daily updates.
All right, thanks, and save the best for last, right, Irene? How did the content of your presentation change after you guys, through group discussions?
Through group discussions, we decided to eliminate certain perspectives and kind of mush it all into one. We decided to go for more of like one or two specific